names for their respective sport. He is certainly one of them. Very cool to follow.
And right now we're moving over to Bortnyk. Bortnyk, by the way, had a very turnaround win in his last game here, and now playing against Abdusattorov.
And we see Bortnyk start with the same opening that he did against Nihal Sarin. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. He plays the JOBAVA London system. The White Knight did kind of leap forward, had to go back. No cow opening, unfortunately, here. But this is very interesting stuff. He's pushed his H-pawn forward, which makes me think he might be hinting towards a later attack against the Black King on this side. Watch out, there was a queen trap as well. Queen takes pawn would have allowed the White Knight to go to the edge of the board, and there would have been no way home for that queen.
Wow.
Very famous trick there. So, yeah, and lots of openings. This pawn is offered up as bait, the poison pawn. But here, not captured by Nodirbek, who's going to first bring his bishop out most likely and cover that square to try and threaten. There we go. Now queen takes pawn would be possible, attacking the White Knight. And Bortnyk shaking his head, smiling. Looks like he's in a good mood at least.
Stop at bishop d7.
How is he?
I
Does
just
he have to defend
added.
the pawn now?
I just added like.
Yeah.
When I recorded that, I checked this line 95 and bishop rook h3, or even rook h3 right now is possible too. And the point is a e4 move and trapping queen on b2. That's a new in the course.
And I mean, this is quite far into the game. Is this still theory for Bortnyk? Because I know him and Dania did a lot of stuff with JOBAVA London, right?
Exactly. This course that he was talking about, I believe it was kind of, I think they've produced some stuff and posted that in the past, but I believe there's a new course coming out that Bortnyk and Dania were working on, kind of half finished, and he's kind of taken it on himself to finish the course and make the JOBAVA London system into a real weapon. And yeah, he's talking about bring the knight forward, bring the rook forward. He's going for the opponent's king, and Dania would have been proud. This is a very attacking chess.
They're also such opposites when they're playing here, Bortnyk and Abdusattorov. We have Bortnyk doing the laid-back streaming. I mean, the guy is almost lying back while playing 5 without increments, and you have Abdusattorov who's always ahead in his seat, always looking forward, always in game mode.
Absolutely. But I mean, Bortnyk, he's so used to streaming so much. He's always playing these blitz games, bullet games. This is just a regular Tuesday for him, playing like this.
How's that for you, Anna? Do you play better or worse chess when you're streaming?
I think I play worse. I want to believe I play better, but then sometimes I play without streaming and I'm like, wow, I actually see pretty far ahead. I'm actually not so bad. So I think, unfortunately, I do worse, of course, chatting and all this, but at the same time, sometimes when you're chatting, you have to, you kind of get a flow, you know? So I think when you have the flow, maybe you play a bit better, but in general, worse, yeah. Okay, so now Abdusattorov is retreating a lot. Are we still going to see Bortnyk creating an attack? Is that possible? No, because he just castled, right? So he's kind of stopped on those ideas?
Yeah, at least with the rook. Now it's harder for White's rook to get in, but the queen will come forward at some point, maybe slide across, and it does feel like, wow, full retreat mode.
Wow.
He wants to play freestyle chess. He wants to put his bishop back, move his king, move his knight back, and set the pieces up. Suddenly, the centralization for White looks beautiful. This was the idea, though, from Nodirbek. He wants to trade off the kind of leader of the White attack, leader of the army in the center. I'm expecting now a pawn trade, forcing the knights off the board. Otherwise, Black would have a double attack on this square. It does look nice, though, visually, at least for White. Feels like exactly what he wants against, intense Abdusattorov, as he's called. Nodirbek does love staring the opponents down, so maybe playing online chess kind of removes that big weapon of his.
That is true. I have played against him, and even I felt stared down. And it's not like I'm an opponent that he's very afraid of.
He's trying to melt you with the stare. The stare
he always
down.
does that. Okay, so he takes the knight. And now the question is, do you take with the pawn or with the bishop?
Ooh, should we have a quick vote? I think he's going to take with the pawn. Anna, virtual.
I mean, my intuition would tell me to take with the bishop, but that is, of course, a very much lower level than these guys play at. So why is it better to take with the pawn?
Yeah, I just had a feeling he wanted to attack. Like a pawn on e5 is well known as kind of cutting the board in half. But yeah, I mean, there's no concrete reason. It's just a kind of vibe. And
it is a vibe, and it's just now the knight can't retreat to f6, so now you've eliminated one of black's defenders, and it's going to be really hard to get back to f6 unless you play something like f6, but then you're weakening a lot your king, and otherwise you need to start attacking that e5 pawn, but it's quite easy to defend as well. So I agree that it's a vibes idea. It just feels good to have a pawn on e5 preventing the knight from coming back.
Exactly. Sometimes that's just how it goes, especially in blitz, right? You just have to play a move that feels right, and then hope that later on it's important somehow that black's pieces can't come back towards the king side. The black queen can't jump over its own pieces to come and defend. He gets his bishop out of the way. He's getting ready to do something on the d file. I just don't know what that is. Again, the vibes are there, but you need something tangible.
Something more concrete, yes. If he could get a knight, you know, to e4 somehow in a certain moment, of course, that's not possible right now with the pawn, but if you could, it would be so beautiful to take control of all those dark squares.
I have a feeling he might even move his knight out the way a bit later to try and push this pawn forward, then bring his knight back and do it the long way around once you can break down the center. He wants to push this pawn as well, but black will bypass and block things up.
And what is Abdusattorov doing on the c-file? Why is he doubling up over there?
Rooks, yeah, they normally want to be in open files, not staring at their own pawns. Especially if it's not a pass pawn, rooks behind pawns do feel a bit awkward. Good question, Anna. And maybe that's why white is better here. The black piece is a bit suffocated. It's like rush hour here, traffic jam.
And if black goes c4, he's going rook, okay, rook b6, so he's trying to put a bit of pressure on the b pawn, but you just play b3, and now how does black continue this?
Oh, Bortnyk very expressive there, as he was saying, like just cement the position. That black rook is going nowhere, but at least it's entered the white half of the board. And he's saying to Bortnyk, come at me, start attacking me, and there we see piece sacrifice. Big moment.
Wow!
He was
this
building
is aggressive.
Wow.
Is the idea that there's a pin towards the queen and that you can long-term apply more and more pressure, or why is this a sound sacrifice?
Yeah, I'm not sure it is a sound sacrifice. He was much better before it. Now he's slightly worse. Now black's better. I think he was just tired of maneuvering around.
Playing on vibes.
Exactly. His bishop will come out at some point to a nice diagonal. Might force the black rook to sacrifice itself for that bishop.
He's going to get a beautiful bishop and maybe also a beautiful d6 square at some point if he's able to, well, if he decides to trade those bishops out. Okay. Wow.
Ooh, this is similar to the storyline of the game against Nihal Sarin, where Bortnyk had the makings of an attack, but he was worse. He was losing for some of it. But as soon as the attack did eventually crash through, he turned it around.
But Bortnyk seems to be so good when he's behind on time. I mean, he always falls behind on the clock, and still he manages to find these resources.
Some players, they need the dopamine hit. They need the adrenaline rush of time travel.
I am one of those.
Oh, Anna, it's a bad habit. Me too. But
it is so much fun. You need that dopamine in chess. Okay, but I have an idea. Yes, I would have felt so cool if I said that right before. I was going to say that. E4, I wanted to go f4, f5 at some point. Can you do something like this, or is that crazy?
Yeah, I was expecting that. I actually thought he was doing the same thing. I guess f4 there would have been met by a bishop takes pawn capture, stopping the pawns move forward, but definitely in the air. He's actually sacrificed back a rook for piece now, and suddenly the evaluation bars, it swings. He wants checkmate, but maybe there's just no time. Nodirbek, if he's accurate, should be winning this game, but how? 1 minute to find a defense against this scary, scary threat. And he pushes forward.
And Bortnyk realizes, you can see his head shaking right now.
And you can capture en passant. That happened. Bypassing the pawn was not an option there. But now the black king, black queen, they can block. There we go, on the light squares. And he's just not going to be able to get through. There's a total fortress. Yeah. The black bishop and knight also protect the very important e6 square here. The knight might just sit on that square for the rest of the game. He's giving away everything, Bortnyk, but the white bishop blocked. No more attack, and queen's coming off. That's going to spell the end.
There's just not enough pieces. That's the problem. Sometimes an attack looks so good, but if you don't have enough pieces, then you can't win.
Yeah, he's actually only a pawn down, but it feels like way more because there's 3 pawns about to march on that queen side, and the other side of the board, he's playing checkers while Abdusattorov's playing chess. Everything on dart squares. And look at that, nasty knight fork gets the pieces off the board. 14 seconds for Bortnyk shouldn't be enough. Black massively better here, and with more time.
On clock, on possession.
And how trivial is this for the guys to convert? Is it like they could do it in their sleep, kind of? Because like here, I mean, at my level, an opponent can still put up a couple of tricks, I feel like, but it's just dead in the water.
Yeah, I think that was the one trick that he saw, the white rook coming to the 7th. So the king will defend the rook. The king is actually going to go gobble up a pawn now, and now I think it is trivial. I think good question earlier, like there was 1 or 2 tricks, but now these pawns at some point very instructive that he's keeping his pawns kind of far back where they can be protected. Only when he's ready does he start pushing. And Nodirbek's going to get the job done. 3 seconds for Bortnyk. The clock is looking very red. You can make all the moves in the world here and not get the job done, Nick, although there was a blunder of the B pawn.
Wow.
Wow, pre-move though. It's it's a race against time, and 1 second, not going to be enough. How is he surviving this far though? But finally a black queen appears, and it's going to be game over. Bortnyk runs out of time. Nodirbek takes it with a nod of his head.
That means that Nodirbek Abdusattorov is still undefeated here with his 5 points.